So it's still the week where we're celebrating a girl child. And something very interesting came to my notes. There was this very interesting post here put by a man who told about his experience with a friend. And his friend was trying to get him to hug her daughter. And she was offended that her daughter wouldn't hug him. And he goes on to tell her, hey, no, don't force her to hug me. It's not something that you should do, especially if it's a girl child. The fact is that when you do that, you're telling them that they can familiarize themselves very easily with just anybody, and that is actually bad because you are not protecting them against predators. And he also somewhere in the post told about the fact that you need to set boundaries by making your children refer to people older than them with a title in front of their names. Mr. So-and-so, Uncle So-and-so, that it's very necessary that if you don't do that, you're eliminating boundaries. And by eliminating boundaries, you're actually exposing them to these familiarizations that are very, very bad for children. And it helps predators get an easy road in, if you know what I mean.
There's something you mentioned. When it came, what I would want to mention is when it came to the part you mentioned about familiarity, the one where you get a kid to call anybody older uncle. That's not... It doesn't follow. It now breeds, or it now makes them, yes. You know, you only have the uncle is, or even at school, like you said, we should understand that the kids should learn to call the person Mr. Or you understand, but that uncle, auntie, no.
Okay.
That level of familiarization, nah.
I went for a wedding last week, my cousin's wedding last week, and I saw young kids, young girls and boys dancing in a very provocative manner.
Ooh, wow.
That's very rampant these days, sadly.
So, and I sat down. I should have left though, but I wanted to do apropos. So I sat down somewhere for a few minutes watching them. And the only thing that was in my mind, or that was in my head, was, wow, I am so worried for Elsie and Eliana. Because, and then I kept asking myself, what if I'm not here to safeguard them?
Yeah.
You know, to protect them from all of these things. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because it goes beyond, you know, telling your kids where to sit, where not to sit, who to talk to, who not to talk to. What happens when you are not there?
Yeah. So you stand a risk of helicopter parenting when you do that, but you are correct.
Because are we still in that era where it is a village? Exactly.
No, we're definitely not there.
Are we still in that era?
We're definitely not in that era anymore. Anyways, my take on this is, as much as, yes, I believe, boundaries should be created, right? I, however, am sad at the innocence that is being taken out. Because to be very honest, yeah, at least that particular child didn't want to hug that guy, right? But like normally growing up, I would see my aunties and uncles and I'm excited. I literally just jump on them. Do you understand? Now it's so sad that that responsibility has to literally be moved to the child.
Yeah.
When the responsibility, because they're rapists, do you understand? No means no. Yeah. There are rapists out there. The rapist is the problem, not the dressing, not the child, not the freedom of expression of the child. Do you understand?
I totally agree with you, and I understand what you're saying, but in the
exactly.
Yes. By the way, in the past, us growing up, it's not like as if these things didn't happen, or they actually did happen. Many people fell prey to them, quite frankly.
No, definitely.
If we knew any better, we would actually, since back then, have put in safeguards.
More measures.
Yeah, more measures.
Yeah.
So now that we're more aware, I think it's okay. At the risk of taking that innocence away from the kids, making them more aware even at an earlier age, which is very unfortunate. But to safeguard them, I'd rather that than anything else. It's sad, but it's the sign of the time.
Yeah, because they're kids, like you said. They're innocent. They see people and they're just overtly overjoyed because especially because they are growing, so they want to meet people. The minute they are out there, they're so excited, they're curious, about all of these things. But then because we live in a perverted era, you now have to protect them.
Now, I was also going to note that he didn't say that stop them from hugging everybody or anybody. He said if they don't want to,
don't force them.
No,
So you have to
definitely
take note of that fact,
Definitely
you know.
not.
And I wish that there's more that we could do. Unfortunate thing about the party that you went to, I wish that there was more that we could do as individuals or people who have access to media to try and push this message.
You know, that
out to
was what
people.
that's what I sat down there and I was thinking about. Because then I'm like, I can't walk up to these kids and say, no, don't
Yeah,
do
so
that,
what do
don't
you
just
do?
like that.
What do
And then
we
I
do?
started looking
But the
around to
funny
see
thing,
if I
grow
would
up,
see
like,
their
people
parents.
who do things like that.
What?
Do you understand? Just like you're talking about how the community grows a child. Do you understand? When I was growing up, there, if I was misbehaving outside, my parents are not there.
The kids,
Somebody else becomes my
these
mother at that
ones,
point. I know,
the
definitely.
kids of this one, hey, whoa, don't even go, hey. This was even told that I don't understand.
You know,
They will turn on you.
there was always one nosy auntie or uncle that would always go out of their way when it was not
They
their
will report
business
you
to-
if you're
to,
misbehaving.
curtail
Respect
any
those
excesses.
aunties and uncles,
Yeah.
those busy
Yeah.
aunties and uncles.
Those
I
ones.
wish that there was more of them.
There was more of them.
nowadays.
No, everybody just
Now
like
everybody
watching.
mind your business.
Everybody just mind your business. Or
Sad,
just
no.
move
And we're very
forward.
protective of our kids. In that instance, if you try to tell somebody else's kid that, hey, you
Exactly, you
shouldn't
shouldn't
be
do
doing
that.
that.
Hey, don't talk to my child.
This is my
That's
child.
my child. Exactly.
Am I blind?
Yeah.
But what, in your case, would you do the same thing?
Would I?
If someone was correcting your child?
No. I would allow you correct my child. If my child is wrong, I mean, my helps. There are times that they would, scold the girls when they do something that's not right, and I would even scold the girls that no, you shouldn't do that, and then you should apologize.
Okay.
That's why they're very, I'm sorry, thank you. You know, they're very, when it comes to, they're very emotional. They're very in-swinged or into their feelings, intuitive with their feelings. And I think that's something that we also need to, so establish those boundaries. You know, if they want to do stuff that you know that's right, allow them. If you, but at the end of the day, I think it's all just protect, I don't know.